Hey guys, welcome back. So, following on from my Narcissa Malfoy big moment video, I wanted to look at another big moment that involved Albus Dumbledore during the peak of the First Wizarding War. The Order of the Phoenix was in full combat against the Death Eaters for close to 10 years at this point, and things were bound to take a turn, but not in the direction we all wanted. Voldemort was on the brink of victory, and Dumbledore realised that the Order of the Phoenix was hanging by a thread as the war was all but lost. My question is, at what point did he realise that, and how did it actually get to that point? Let's look at the moment Dumbledore knew that the Order was finished and continue the video. Before the video begins, I'd just like to highlight for those of you who may want to check out my personal life, which does include Harry Potter stuff, that I do have an Instagram where I post lots of photos that you can view. It's also the best way to contact me if you have a question or even a video idea. I may not reply immediately, but I'll try my best to get back to you all. You can check it out from the link in the description below. Enjoy the video. Welcome back guys. So it's obvious enough that the Order of the Phoenix was created to fight against Voldemort and his Death Eaters. That's something we know. The Dark Lord had spent a lot of time recruiting his forces, not just witches and wizards, but giants, werewolves, acromantulas, and just about any creature willing to fight for him in exchange for a better status in the wizarding world. It wasn't much surprise that he gained a mass following from such promises. He also wanted to make a change for the better in the wizarding world, well, in his eyes anyway, and seemed to use his persuasion tactics rather than join us or die, because back then, people actually liked what he wanted to achieve, a pureblood society. Voldemort always had a plan. He played his cards better than anyone else. There had been no one like him before, and even after his death, there would be never anyone like him again. He waited until he was almost invincible. Well, he actually was invincible. He was immortal until he revealed himself to the world publicly. When he did, he brought upon such a forceful attack that it genuinely frightened everyone, even the ones that would fight. Nobody had seen anything like this before. Every attempt to stop him failed, and any barrier put up against him was smashed through, and the darkest times had fallen upon the wizarding world since Gellert Grindelwald's time. There wasn't enough Aurors. More and more people were going missing, others were dying, and the rest joined him out of fear. The only man that could stop him was the only man he feared, Albus Dumbledore. But even then, Dumbledore knew there was no way to outfight him. He had to outsmart him, which in turn would be extremely difficult itself. Voldemort was also a master tactician. So the Order of the Phoenix was founded sometime between 1970 and 1971 with the intent to combat the Death Eaters. They tried with some success for some time to cut the Death Eaters off at every point possible. This didn't last for long however, as the Dark Lord's forces continued to grow. Things became so bad that the Ministry had given all Aurors and other officials who fought against the Death Eaters full permission to use the unforgivable curses without any consequence. With every small step forward, there would be a huge knock backwards. After the Ministry of Magic was infiltrated, nobody could be trusted anymore. Some of the longest serving officials were now corrupt or placed under the Imperious Curse. All files on anyone who had any association with the Ministry or the Order were now in the possession of the Death Eaters. Order members were being killed, like the Pruitt brothers for example, Fabian and Gideon, murdered by Antonin Dolohov and a group of Death Eaters after they ambushed the two brothers. The Order's numbers were stretched to the limit, and Dumbledore began failing to see any positive outcome in the war. What frustrated Dumbledore more than anything is that he knew so little about Voldemort's power. He didn't know where it stemmed from, how the boy he once knew as Tom Riddle had acquired such a dark power. He did theorise that Voldemort may have created Horcruxes, but that was a theory he wouldn't allow himself to believe was true. His reaction to Slughorn's true memory all those years later really showed how the realisation of such dark magic being conjured was something he really struggled to comprehend. If that wasn't bad enough, Peter Pettigrew, a trusted Order member and secret keeper for the Potters, was leaking everything back to Voldemort, Anything that Dumbledore planned seemed to get back and was easily countered. If you just go back to Peter Pettigrew's involvement for a moment, it's actually incredible how influential he was over forthcoming events. By going on to reveal the Potter's secret of Voldemort, which broke the Fidelius charm, the Dark Lord ended up disembodying himself, which in turn caused his downfall. So this makes me think that it was all part of the prophecy, meaning that the Potters were always meant to die. That's a video for another day. So Peter leaks information on the Order to Voldemort, betrays his closest friends to Voldemort, frames his other best friend Sirius Black, but the consequence of his betrayal of the Potters sees his own master's demise. Truly amazing for a man who so many people overlooked and was responsible for so much damage. By 1980, Dumbledore knew that the Order was hanging by a thread. They were cut off at every point. Voldemort wanted Dumbledore's death, and the headmaster knew this. He also knew that his death would see Voldemort secure victory, although in all honesty, he knew that was inevitable. The truth of the matter is that the Order of the Phoenix was all but spent, completely exhausted. Albus Dumbledore was now trying with all his might and power to simply slow Voldemort down. That was all he could do. After a decade, he knew in that moment the war was lost. It was actually the prophecy regarding Harry Potter that gave the Order the break that they needed so badly. At least now, judging by the words of the prophecy, Voldemort could be defeated. However, up until then, the Dark Lord would have emerged victorious, and Dumbledore most likely could have been killed. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Anyway guys, a shorter video than usual for today. It was just a moment that I wanted to cover for today's video, especially as it's pre-Harry Potter, which is one of my favourite timelines in the wizarding world. If there's anything you want to add, did I miss anything that would have happened, please do so in the comment section below. Let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.